5 here on Monday, January 7th, 2019. I had Dave Biddle. Very happy to be joined by Bill Bank Greene. All right, Bank, plenty to discuss on today's show, my man. We're going to talk about Ryan Day filling out his coaching staff. We'll talk some recruiting. We'll talk a little bit about Justin Fields. But let's start right at the top with coaching news and moves. Alex Grinch to Oklahoma, of course, Bank. That's been official for a few days now. A lot of people thought Grinch might be promoted to defensive coordinator at Ohio State, but that's obviously not the way it worked out. So, do you think Greg Schiano is staying on as Ryan Day's defensive coordinator?
Yeah, I definitely do. It would be hard for me to believe they let Grinch walk and then are going to let Schiano either walk on his own or fire him unless they have somebody else in mind to run that defense. And, maybe they want to wait until the coaches convention to announce it. But I don't think that's what's happening. I feel that it came down to Grinch or Schiano. Ryan Day made his choice. I think he could have installed Ryan Grinch as the defensive coordinator and either busted Schiano down to position coach, similar to what he did last year with Kevin Wilson and Ryan Day. He could have done that again. And if Schiano blocked that, they could have let him walk. But I think, they couldn't keep both, I don't think. So I think Ryan Day made the decision. He's going with Greg Schiano, and he let Alex Grinch walk. And, we're going to find out if that was the right move or not. There's no way to know right now.
Is Bill Davis leaving for sure, and who might replace him as linebackers coach?
Well, I'm not saying for sure, but I think
pretty sure.
I think the odds are pretty good that he's not coming back next year. I don't think Ohio State wants to fire him. I believe that he's been told, you got to find a job. We don't want to embarrass you, but I would believe in that case he's been given a drop-dead date that, you got to find another job, but we're going to have to fire you because we have to proceed. So I do not expect him back next year. I think Al Washington is their number one candidate. He may have already agreed to come to Ohio State for all we know. But until the opening's there, they may have an agreement with him and then tell him, look, just sit tight. We're going to give Bill Davis the coaching convention here to find another job, and if he doesn't find another job by Friday or Saturday, whatever, then we'll make the move. This all could be done. Ryan Day didn't hire Mike Yurkis after one day. Okay, there were conversations a lot earlier than that. So let's just sit tight here. I don't expect Bill Davis back, and just because Davis hasn't been fired, as of Monday morning, and Al Washington's not the head coach or the linebacker coach right now, doesn't mean that can't still happen. So I would just preach a little patience here, and let's just sit tight on this.
One name I want to ask you about that's been floated out there a little bit, Matt House. He is obviously Kentucky's defensive coordinator. The Wildcats had a very good defense this year, number 23 in the country in total defense, fourth best defense in the SEC, not their division of the SEC, the entire SEC, fourth in the SEC. He's a Michigan State grad. He's a native of Harrison, Michigan. Also has been a DC at Pitt and Florida International. Any chance Matt House, I guess I should say, is there a realistic chance Matt House could come to Ohio State?
I don't think Matt House would leave Kentucky to come to Ohio State to be the linebacker coach.
What about co-defensive coordinator if they told him, you're kind of the DC is waiting? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so because he already has a DC job at a Power 5 school. Grinch did it. Grinch left Power 5 DC to come be Schiano's caddy, and you see how well that worked out. It lasted 1 year. You get a little tired of not once you've been the guy, it's hard to not be the guy. So I don't think so on Matt House, unless Matt House is their guy, and maybe that's why they let Grinch walk. And maybe they're going to tell Schiano, you got to find a job here because we're making Matt House the D coordinator in 5 days. These things, like I said, there could be a lot of things going on that we're not privy to right now. I don't see Matt House coming here to Ohio State just to be linebacker coach with the phony baloney code DC title. I don't think he would do that, but, you never know. got to see how this plays out. I think the coaching convention is huge this week, and I think by the end of this week, you're going to see a lot of things clarified with the assistant coach stuff.
And looking at Ohio State's secondary coaching situation, Taver Johnson, a lot of people think, he might be on the way out. I want to get your take on that. Plus, the name a lot of people are floating out there, Corey Raymond from LSU, the DB coach there. Here's the thing about Corey Raymond, though. Tell me what I'm missing, Bank. This is a guy born and raised in Louisiana, played for LSU. I don't know why he would want to leave LSU unless there's something I'm missing here. I mean, but just unpack all that for me. Do you think Taver Johnson's out? And what am I missing about Corey Raymond? Why would he even want to leave LSU to come to Ohio State when he's a LSU guy through and through?
Yeah, well, first off with Taver, I don't think he's on the way out, but I wouldn't bet my firstborn on that either. I think he's going to get that second year, but don't hold me to that. This is Ryan Day, and a guy who has to win. Okay, so there's going to be no loyalty. He didn't hire Taver Johnson, so there's not going to be any loyalty shown. And Urban's not running this program anymore. And if he was, you'd probably see Corey Dennis as the quarterback coach, and things wouldn't look the way they look now. So I think Taver, we'll see. Let's hold off. But Corey Raymond could come in as Alex Grinch's replacement. Corey is an LSU guy through and through. When I checked, I think he's making like $375. Ohio State could probably pay him $6. So right there, you got, you have my attention at hello there. That's one reason. The second thing could be he could feel that he's pigeonholed in that job as the LSU great recruiter / secondary coach. And he may want to branch out, spread his wings a little bit, really diversify his resume. So I could see him leaving LSU, although, the reasons you mentioned are pretty strong. Played there, coached there, legend there. But with these assistant coaches, everything is looking down the road 4 or 5 years. And what enhances his resume? What makes him a candidate to be a defensive coordinator someday? Is it staying at LSU in that same position year after year, or is it, enhancing that resume maybe with Ohio State on the resume to go with LSU? And that's going to have to be his call. But I could see huge pay increase, diversify the resume. I could see it happening.
Makes a lot of sense now that you explain that to me. Okay, one more thing about coaches, then we'll move on to recruiting. Alex, our friend Alex Kleitman just can't get away, and that's why he's so good at what he does. He's on a sabbatical, and he's still throwing news and rumors up there. He's hearing there's Greg Madison might be in play to come to Ohio State. I don't even know. That doesn't really make sense to me, but Alex has good sources. Are you hearing if there's any chance Greg Madison could come to Ohio State as an assistant coach?
That does not make sense to me at all, but like I say, some people hear things I don't hear, and some people have better sources than I have. Since the first I've heard it, looking at it on the surface, he is a kind of a Larry Johnson clone, and I don't know why you would need, 2 older dudes that both coach the same spot. And see, Madison's ties were to Urban. I don't know that Greg Madison has any tie with Ryan Day. And I just think it would be such a duplication. I mean, I don't see what role he fills at Ohio State. I can see Al Washington coming in, but I don't see Greg Madison, although they may name him to the staff tonight, and I'm going to say, holy crap, I didn't see that coming. So I would say it doesn't make sense to me, but this is coaching, and a lot of times these things don't make sense.
Yeah, I'll be shocked if that happens. He'd have to come as like linebacker coach, and as you mentioned, he's you said it well. He's like a Larry Johnson clone, older guy, defensive line coach. It just makes no sense at all. But we'll see what happens. Hopefully, Al Washington materializes. That'd be very interesting. I guess I like you. There was one more name out there. We love to talk about in the media and Ohio State fans, which we're kind of like both. We kind of teeter on both of those sides. We're both Ohio State. We want Ohio State to do well, and we're in the media. But fans and media both like talking about Marcus Freeman perhaps coming to Ohio State. Is that something they're talking about much inside the WAC? Is Ryan Day really talking about that? Or is that just something more like fans and media like talking about, that Marcus Freeman could come to Ohio State as like a co-DC linebackers coach?
Well, I think Al Washington is their guy. And there are reports that Al Washington has been offered a position on the Ohio State staff. I don't know that that's true, but I think Al Washington would be their guy. So should Al decide to stay at Michigan, I think Marcus Freeman is very viable. I mean, extremely viable. Marcus, again, money plays a part in everything. Marcus is making less than $300,000 at UC. Now, he does call the defense. So coming to Ohio State with that phony baloney code DC thing, I don't know. He might do that because it's home. He played here, and it's, one of the top Power 5 programs in America. But he would take that $275 and turn that into probably $650. And, tell your wife you're going to double, triple your salary and see what she says, Dave. So I think Marcus would listen, and, but I think Al Washington is their number one choice. So I don't think Bill Davis is coming back. I think Al Davis, yeah, they need him badly. I think Al Washington would be number one, and I think Marcus Freeman would get consideration, along with Matt House behind Al Washington.
All right, as promised, we'll move on to recruiting. We could have just made the whole show about talking coaching stuff. There's just so much interesting coaching stuff to talk about, Bank. But recruiting-wise, Doug Nestor, sounds like things are maybe trending back in Ohio State's favor here. What do you think Doug Nestor will ultimately sign with Ohio State?
I kind of do think he's going to. I think Ohio State would feel a lot better if he would announce he's signing with Ohio State and not taking any more visits and not taking any more phone calls and put out a statement that I'm all Ohio State, so Penn State, Georgia, and Virginia Tech, no need to call me. I'm not taking your calls. I don't think that's happening. So as long as he's snooping and visiting and sniffing around other schools, then the statements he makes to the media are basically worthless. This is the old, we learned this how many years ago, look at what they do, not what they say. And that's the case here. He can end all this stuff today by putting out a statement, no visits, no coaches should call me. I'm a Buckeye. I'm signing in February. Leave me alone. I don't think he's doing that. So his statements, they sound good, but let's see. Let's see how he gets through this visit cycle.
Who else might they add to the 2019 class? Is there any names you can put out there you feel pretty confident they're going to add in the late signing period?
Well, they're tracking MJ Devonshire, the DB. I just don't think he's a corner. I think he's a safety, but they need bodies right now in that O-line. So they have to keep Nestor. I mean, that is so huge for them. And then there's the O-lineman that they just recently offered, the kid from Hawaii. I won't even try to pronounce his name. Inoki Vimahi, I'll let you handle that one. He plays tackle in high school, but like I said, he's a guard, but he's a pretty good player. But I don't think he's leaving. I think he's going to USC. I don't think he's coming to Ohio State, but boy, you sure fight that thing to the death because they need bodies there. They can't go with what they have right now. So that's why they're tracking that DeJuan Jones. I mean, they got to come out of this with 4, and right now they have 2, and they didn't get anywhere near what they needed last year either. So this area is a concern. It's a huge concern from what happens on the field to how recruiting's going, overall talent, overall depth. This is the area that and they're they have one loss, and they're one of the top teams in America. But I think fans want to see Ohio State up there with Alabama and Clemson. I don't think they want to see a team that, competes for the Big Ten East every year. So you start talking national championship team, everything you see out of this O-line is just not national championship caliber. So things have to get better there. If you want to talk national championships and, we're Bama, we're Clemson, well, you better improve that area. So, and I don't think it's, I don't want to say it, but they need to get better in that area. Let's leave it at that.
Justin Fields mania has hit Columbus. I think he's going to be the starter. I don't think he'd come here unless they told him, like, you're at least probably going to be the starter. What do you think is going to happen with Fields? Do you think he's pretty much the automatic starter? How do you think he's going to do in 2019? What's going to happen with Tate Martell? Do you think Tate Martell's going to stay, transfer? Maybe Tate Martell's going to win the job. Maybe Matthew Baldwin will win the job. I don't know. Just unpack all that for me, Bank.
Well, I don't think Matthew Baldwin has the prayer of winning this job. He hasn't played football in a while. He wasn't even healthy this year at Ohio State. So give him time. I like the kid a lot, and I mean a lot. But let's let him develop. Let him come off the injury. Tate Martell's in an interesting position. I know Nevada's saying that he's going to graduate this spring. I have never seen a kid, and I'm not questioning him at all because he's good at what he does, but I've never seen a kid graduate in 2 years and then have 3 years of eligibility instantly. So if Tate can do that, more power to him. Well, I did check with Ohio State and asked them about this, and their reply was they're not aware that he's on track to graduate. So we'll leave that lay as it is. If Tate can get his degree, that gives him so much more power. If he doesn't get his degree, say Tate, doesn't graduate, then he should stay. He should stay and battle. Even if he loses the job to Justin Fields, guys get hurt, guys play bad. There's always a chance that Justin Fields doesn't get granted instant eligibility, and in that case, Tate Martell is the starting quarterback for Ohio State next year, so go win 15 straight games, put a national title trophy in the case, and you're the man. So Tate has, I don't think it's automatic that he has to leave Ohio State tonight. With Justin, he's got a lot of talent, Dave. He's got a lot of talent. Now, we've seen very talented guys flop before. We've seen guys that were not highly rated be tremendous before. But looking at what we know about Justin Fields, it's pretty remarkable talent. And I don't think he's coming here to sit. Okay? And I don't think Ryan Day, I wouldn't say Ryan Day has guaranteed him he's going to be the starter. But I think Justin has to feel pretty good that if he gets granted instant eligibility, and I think he's going to, but I think he's got to feel pretty good that he's going to be the starter next year for Ohio State. So, interesting dynamic here. And Ryan Day, he's going to have to manage this. He's going to have to walk through this minefield and not let this team get torn apart by this. I do think they went to Justin, and I think he's been told not to answer Tate on Twitter. Tate threw a few bombs last week. Justin, to his credit, did not answer. And then when he commits to Ohio State, the bottom of his statement says, no interviews, not making any statements. Talk to Jerry Emig if you need anything from me. And that was telling. And then Saturday, when the picture came out of Urban and Dwayne Haskins and Justin Fields celebrating at the basketball game, that was a perfect opportunity for Tate to kind of get loose on Twitter, and he didn't. And I think they've went to him as well, and I think he's been told, this is your brother, this is your teammate, you are to battle him tooth and nail, fight him to the death for this job, but we're not going to let you guys rip this team apart. So, that's the dynamic that Ryan Day is kind of a minefield he has to walk through, and it's going to be interesting to watch. This is going to be the story. As soon as Justin made it official, he's coming to Ohio State. It's like, buckle up, because it's going to be good every day. And I mean every day through June, July. It's going to be fun every day to follow this, all the way to the first game.
Yeah, this stuff is fascinating. Everything we talk about on the show, I just love it all. It's just all of this stuff is just so interesting. It's such an intriguing time of the year for Ohio State football. Really appreciate it. Bill, Bank, Greene, you always come strong. Thank you very much, Bank, and thanks to our listeners out there for tuning in to the show. I appreciate that as well. Hope everyone has a great day. Let's go to Buckeye swag, about to abandon the land.